Hey there, Ritual here to give a big shout out to you for making it through the hectic holiday season. The magic of those family moments, that was you. And now there's new milestones to prep for in 2025. This new year, check clean, quality pregnancy nutrient support off your to-do list with Ritual. We've done the research to create science-backed pregnancy support like our prenatal multivitamin, natal choline, and fertility support, all designed to be taken alongside each other. But don't just take our word for it. They're also third-party tested for microbes and heavy metals and Clean Label Project certified. So whether you're trying, thinking about trying, or already there, we don't have to tell you that prioritizing yourself can be the hardest part. That's why we're helping you get started today with 30% off a 3-month supply for a limited time at ritual.com/podcast. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Other shows we have for you to enjoy at myclassicradio.net. The Avengers was most certainly not a household name in South Africa prior to the radio series. With no national television service until 1976, the mechanism simply was not present in the country to show television programs to mass audiences. While many other countries reveled in the filmed adventures of John Steed and company, South Africa was not equipped to join in the fun. The series took Britain by storm and made a major impression in the American markets, being that greatest of rarities, a British series given a network transmission slot. However, as a filmed series, rather than a videotaped one, The Avengers was able to gain a modicum of exposure in South Africa through film rentals. Come and listen at myclassicradio.net.
Calling all detectives. Why should a man with a family apply for an insurance policy and name as beneficiary somebody who doesn't want the money? That is the problem on this page from my casebook. The casebook of Jerry Browning, private detective. When a private detective like me, Jerry Browning, gets a case, he seldom knows where to lead. John Cooley, head of investigations for Consolidated Insurance, was small, dried up, had 2 china marbles for eyes, a thin, bloodless mouth. He could be as implacable as death itself. Or, Browning, I have an unusual situation here. Pietro D'Andrea, age 42, occupation given as laborer, applied for a $500 policy. Here's the doctor's report on him. I read the medical report. Applicant suspected of having a heart condition. Policy application refused. I handed the paper back to Cooley. What about it, Mr. Cooley?
Mr. D'Andrea paid a $15 deposit against his first premium. The letter refusing the policy, together with the refund check for $15, is here, but will not be sent.
I blinked. Why not, Mr. Cooley?
Because Mr. D'Andrea is dead. He was struck by a motor car and killed yesterday.
Cooley put his fingertips together.
You understand we have no legal obligation. Nevertheless, we will pay the full amount less the initial premium.
Does it carry double indemnity? Cooley nodded.
The beneficiary is listed as Joseph Haviland, relationship friend. There's no question about honoring the policy. All I want to know is why Mr. D'Andrea, with a wife and 2 children, applied for a policy making a friend the beneficiary.
An insurance company elected to honor a policy it would have refused had not the applicant been accidentally killed. On the way to the address given for the beneficiary, I thought about the contradictions in John Cooley's makeup. If there was anything wrong about a policy, he'd fight against payment even if he had to spend twice the face value of the policy. Yet he'd turn around and honor a double indemnity policy where the company had no legal obligation to do so. The address given for Joseph Haviland, beneficiary under D'Andrea's policy, turned out to be a tavern. I went on in, asked the bartender, "Are you Joseph Haviland?"
No.
"Well, does he own this place or live here?"
I never heard him.
I shrugged. "Okay. But if you ever do see him, tell him he's passing up $1,000. A heavy-shouldered, florid-faced man got up from a table.
I'm Haviland. What's this about $1,000?
"I'm from Consolidated Insurance. Man by the name of Pietro D'Andrea left you his insurance." Haviland's already red-faced muttered.
Is this some kind of a gag?
"No, D'Andrea had a $500 policy. He got hit by a car, which means you collect $1,000, double indemnity." The color slowly receded from Haviland's face.
Okay. Hand over the dough.
I haven't got it. I'm just verifying the claim. D'Andrea had a family. How come he picked you as a beneficiary?
Look, I figured this for a gag right from the start. Now I know it is. Get out of here.
Wait a second. All I ask is... The bartender had come up behind me, suddenly pinned my arms. Haviland said,
Mister, you smell like a cop to me, and I don't like it.
I picked myself up off the sidewalk, waggled my jaw to make sure it wasn't broken. Then I staggered over to my car, got in, and drove off.
You let the man beat you up.
The bartender was holding my arms, Mr. Cooley.
Who is this Joseph Haviland?
I checked into it, sir. He owns that tavern, and I suspect has a shakedown racket, a protective association going in that neighborhood. Cooley rubbed his chin.
Did he strike you as a man who would engage in an insurance matter?
I shrugged. He'd probably do anything for money, but he'd also be smart enough to wait until the policy was issued. No, I don't think murder for insurance has involved him, Mr. Cooley. Cooley frowned.
Well, get to the bottom of it, Browning.
Yes, sir. It may be expensive, Mr. Cooley.
I said, get to the bottom of it.
Okay. So I had the job of reconstructing the life of a poor laborer, now dead and buried. His wife couldn't tell me much, only that he'd been a good husband, a good father, worked hard. As for the insurance policy, she didn't even know he'd applied for one. The foreman of a road crew told me,
D'Andrea? Well, he was a good guy. I hear the firing.
why did you fire him?
Well, you know how it is. I had to make a job for a friend of a friend at a district court.
Yeah, I'll bet you did. So D'Andrea had lost his job before he applied for the policy. The picture began to emerge. In fact,
Don't use my name. But you understand, this D'Andrea, he looked like a guy waiting to die.
I only had one more loose thread to tuck in, and I took care of that at the county courthouse.
Case against Joseph Haviland? Oh, yeah, sure. Suspected of killing a butcher on 108th Street. Charges dropped. Witness didn't show up.
Who was the witness, do you know?
Pietro D'Andrea. Dead, ain't he?
I reported back to Cooley, and that's when he pressed the button starting wheels turning.
Front fender of Haviland car dented. Paint cracked.
Chemical analysis, paint spots on D'Andrea's body, checked with paint analysis of Haviland's car.
Hear ye, case of the state versus Joseph Haviland. Charge the willful and deliberate murder of Pietro D'Andrea.
Haviland tried to make a deal for life imprisonment, but when they told Cooley about it,
No deals. He'll either go free or go to the chair.
so that's what it was. The chair. A little man, Pietro D'Andrea, knew that he was marked for death, was afraid to appeal to the police lest his family be involved. But he also knew that if he enlisted a great insurance company on his side, there would be one chance that he might be avenged. That's why he tried to buy a policy and named as beneficiary the man he feared would kill him. Like I said, you may be a little guy, but there's nothing like life insurance to get an awful big guy on your side.